Well, 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 well. Here we are again. Is this light too bright? That's all right. Welcome back to the channel. New video. Don't worry, my camera's busting down right now. So, today's video. Let him in, brother. Let him in. Today's video is about the Woods and Skins. My interaction, my interpretation. Remember, from the outside looking in. Yeah, get your push-ups on. Look at my camera. Push-ups like a motherfucker. My interpretations, my interactions, having done time with them forever. You know, there's that whole thing, and I got a buddy of mine, Larry. Shout out to Larry. Larry don't like me no more. He's still my friend though. He'll be all right. And he's like, "You never show love to us, man. You guys, you talk shit." I've never talked shit. I don't talk shit about nobody. But I get what he's saying, because I have done videos where I've made it clear, because I don't, you know, the whole propaganda of the raza from Southern California is in a fucking an alliance with whites and skinheads and the unbreakable bond, and you know, and it's not like that. There was two of the big four had an agreement and understanding. The other two of the big four had an understanding and an agreement. The big four are completely separate from the Southerners and the Northerners, the Crips, the Bloods. But it seems as though people don't understand that. And so they have a confusion, and they're mistaken about something that took place in the 60s and 50s, 60s and 70s, and they think that was what was happening in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. There was a loose agreement. There was mutual respect. We went to yard together. We shared weaponry. And for the most part, we were cool. But there was also a lot of bloodshed. And I can say that while I was in prison, there were more skirmishes between Southern raza and whites than there was between Southern raza and Northern raza, and maybe even between Southerners and blacks. Because see, the Southerners and blacks, when they get into it, it's a big thing, right? Because there's so many people involved. With the Southerners and the whites, there'll be an incident and it'll be fixed. Be an incident and it'll be fixed. Sometimes it lasts a little while. But anyway, so that's all I was saying, right? And my buddy Larry felt like I wasn't showing love, but I'm speaking truth. Now, this video is, again, based off of my interactions. Because I see a lot of people, God, I can't even fucking do my video right with my camera doing this. What if I just fucking turn this up? What's it gonna take? God. So, you guys already know, I started doing time at 13. I walked out of prison for the last time at 43. Okay. And every step of the way, along every step of the way, juvenile hall, camp, group home, youth authority, and prison, I did time with whites and skinheads. You know, I had a conversation with a northerner one time, and he asked me about skinheads. And he said, "How is it that you vatos from down south can get along with these racist skinheads?" Right? And he was like, "I don't get it." And I told him, you know, I've known a lot of skinheads on the streets. The SB skins, SB boot boys. I never met a skinhead on the streets that was racist towards the Mexicans. Never. I'm sure there are some. A lot of them were dating Mexican chicks. wanted to date Mexican chicks. So I explained to him, I said, it's a trip because there's no beef on the streets between barrios and skinheads. So if that would have been the case, then it would have entered into the prison system. But I said, but at the same time, I wonder why. How is it that there are northern barrios that beef big with blacks, but yet you align yourselves with them? That's more confusing to me than two groups that don't beef and come into prison and continue to not beef. And it was hard for him to wrap his head around it, but to me it seems simple. Now, in all my time, the two biggest things are this for me. Woods, a lot of Woods, they'll listen to rap music. Again, they'll have Mexican wives. They're not into the whole white power. White power in itself isn't white supremacy. That's what people don't. A lot of people get things mixed up. There's white pride, white power, just like there's brown power, black power, brown pride, black pride. The Woods, for the most part, were more laid back. They're more. They use drugs more freely. Remember when I was in prison, I sold a lot of drugs, and some of my best customers outside of the Native Americans, shout out to the natives, boy, man, they got money. But so do a lot of the Woods. A lot of them own shops on the streets. Unfortunately, they'd be willing to sell tools. Call home, hey, sell this tool because I need to get this. I got you. As soon as that money hits, I got you, right? And so I would play cards with them. I would gamble with them. So I had a lot of interactions with the Woods. Skinheads, on the other hand, for the most part, did not use drugs. A lot of the different skinheads had strict rules against that. A huge difference between Woods and Skins is this. If there was an incident, an individual disrespected somebody, and he was a Wood, the raza from Southern California could approach the Woods, especially the Woods from his county. They say, hey, look, check it out, homie. To avoid the bullshit, homes, look, this is what happened, this and this and that. We're asking that you take care of that so we don't have to, the yard doesn't get fucked up. And the majority of the time, the Woods would, don't trip, we got it. Whereas with the skinheads will not hit a white man for anyone other than a white man. And especially, they want it to be another skinhead is the reason why. But I personally never had an interaction with a skinhead where I felt there was any racial undertones. I remember being on a yard one time, and that's Sag, right? And the dude that had the yard, I'm gonna say his name, Bam Bam. I'm just gonna say his name, Bam Bam. The dude that had the yard, Bam Bam, for the whites, he was a skinhead, right? And he was on our yard group, Yard Group 1 in Ad Sag. Yard Group 1 in Ad Sag just so happened to be the yard group where if somebody was going to get whacked, it was probably going to be on Yard Group 1 because there was always people getting hit. And so they would, there was always room for somebody to land there. So if somebody new came to Ad Sag, they were probably going to go to Yard 1. If they had an issue, they were going to get hit. And I remember this new dude came, and it was a Wood. And unfortunately for him, he came from Old Folsom. And at the time, they were throwing dudes from Old Folsom on the yard with us in that state. Old Folsom was a level 2. We were level 4s. I don't know how they were getting away with that. And we can hear Bam Bam running them down. He's like, look, these fucking Mexicans right here are not playing games. So Don't get any of us into any bullshit. If you have any questions, if you don't know anything, you just fucking ask. But don't get in no shit, right? And the dude was being like, I don't know what he said or what he did. But next thing I knew, Bam Bam was beating the dog shit out of him. But it's because he saw a liability in that dude, right? I don't know why I threw that story. It popped up in my head, but that goes to show the respect level there. You know, I told a story once. There was an incident where somebody had in the shoe disrespected one of the legends, and he went down to New Folsom Beef Facility, and there were vatos, you know, raza from Southern California that were on that same bus. Got down there, and apparently they didn't know. Because in my experience, when you're dealing with a skinhead and somebody has to get hit and then it's a skinhead, you don't ask the skins, hey, can you handle that? You just got to get off, because they're gonna get off. They're not gonna play around. Well, these dudes apparently didn't do their homework, and they approached on the concrete yard, because at the time they're running concrete yard only, and they approached the skins. I said, hey man, your homie disrespected somebody. You know, we need you to handle that. They were like, all right, we'll take care of it. And they rushed all the Southerners on the concrete yard. Incident occurred. Very next day, the Jura set up. The raza from Southern California brought them all out in handcuffs, had all the woods and skins out there, and they did their thing, right? That's the reality of prison. You know, I always try to give you glimpses of the reality, the coldness. COs like playing those games, you know. But like every group, man, every group behind those damn walls, I don't care who it is, they got hitters. And the difference between the two groups, the Woods and the Skins, like I said, is the discipline. And for those that don't know, Woods and Skins, they don't always get along. And then there's another group that wind up getting validated, not part of the Big Four. They didn't get along with the Skins at all. So when people act like, you know, oh, well, you guys get along with these ones or that, they don't even get along with each other half the time. But anyhow, that's my spiel. Shout out to the Woods. Shout out to the Skins. Shout out to everybody. Hopefully everybody's being safe. Let me go ahead and get on out of here. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like. Share the video with somebody who you think you would enjoy it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm going to get out of the way so my camera can finish its workout, because apparently he's on a sick one right now. I'm out.